is a little brisk out here today. You know I love it. I was looking when I got on camera. My cheeks are so red. I ain't been out here that long, just long enough to set this tripod up. Listen, when I was in high school, I grew up with red cheeks. I've always had red cheeks. I think as I got older, they kind of went away. Well, I think they're still there, but when I was in high school, I used to get asked, this ain't no lie, why are you wearing blush right there in the in the snowman part? I'm like, I don't. Wasn't even wearing makeup. Listen, I couldn't wear that makeup in school. It made me feel like I was suffocating in my skin. That CoverGirl that smelled like it had Noxema in it. I couldn't wear it. So that ain't why we're here. We're here to talk about my doctor visit and what I have eaten the past 3 days. Now let me tell you, it was the endocrinologist and I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure because you just don't know. Well, when they prick your finger for you, check your sugar, they also draw another little vial to check your A1C. And I got there, I was there 40 minutes early because it's in another town and there's traffic between here and there, and I don't like to be late. I don't like to be late. So when I got there, they said, well, we don't have a 1 o'clock appointment, come on in. So I went on in and we sat there and talked, and well, me and the nurse, and she did my blood, and then here he come. He was grinning when he walked in the door. He was very pleasant. So he sat down, and he didn't a bit more get set down in front of his computer. He was going to look at the list, because what they do when you get there is they take your glucose meter and they plug it into something, or I don't know how they figured it out because I ain't figured it. She plugged it in last time. This time she just sat there at her desk and did it. I don't know. And wrote down all my numbers that were in my meter. And so he had sat down, he was just starting to look at the paper, and the girl came in and handed him a, hold on, I'm going to set this down. Let me show you. I found one of my Christmas mugs. As I say, peace with the little skate snowman. So she handed him a little yellow sticky note, and he just looked at it, and he said, and turned around to me and handed it to me. He said, oh, I can't remember what he said. He was just, oh, he was very, I can't even explain without sounding like I'm exaggerating how excited this man was at my numbers. So then he pulled up my computer, and he was looking at last time's numbers, which were terrible, and he looked at my weight, and he just turned around. He did this. I'm not kidding you. He said, ooh, and he did his arm out like the elbow bump me. He said, you are doing great. This is what he told me. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So that tells me this low carb is working for me, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep doing it. I started to lose that 35 pounds, and I knew that it was supposed to help my diabetes, and it obviously has. And he told me, when I told him, I said, well, I was going low carb. He said, oh, carbs are cause the weight gain. He named off all the things, that cause. I'm not telling you to go low carb. Don't take that wrong. There is not one way to do this journey. You have to do it your way. Ooh. That girl, I think, was yelling at her husband. Oh, glory. Anyway, ooh. Where was I? That took me aback. I was saying there's not one way to do this journey. You got to do it your way. And for right now, my way is low carb, because I'm telling you, how I feel is crazy. I cannot tell you how sluggish I felt before until now that I don't. I told you the last time, my body still is not cooperating, but my insides are definitely cooperating. I am not as sluggish. I don't feel as like thick and bloated, and it's really amazed me how much better I have felt since cutting those things out of my diet. So anyway, let's talk about the diet. Since we talked about the excited doctor, he told me, he said, the people I'm seeing, he said, he told me, he said, and during this pandemic, he said, your sugars came down. He said, the people I'm seeing, he said, they're saying they're eating right, they're saying they're exercising, he said, but their blood sugars are just going up. He said, again, so whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. So we have 3 days to look at. Saturday, that's my eating out day. I did all 36 of 36 points plus 28 weeklies. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I only had 1,924 calories to lose. When I pulled up the weight calculator, when he told me, he pulled it up the first time I was there, he said, you can pull anyone up online, put in your height, your weight, and it will show you this is how many calories you need to lose a half a pound a week, 2 pounds a week, how many ever it goes to. Pick your calories. Well, I haven't picked carbs, and I haven't picked calories. I'm still going on points, and I'm letting those carbs and calories fall where they may, and they're falling in decent places. This, I think, I'm sure it's the highest calories that I have and the highest points that I have had, but I have 40 whatever weeklies, and considering I didn't go over those weeklies, I'm ecstatic because all my eat out meals before, I didn't track, and I can only imagine, because sometimes I would just take the whole day of Saturday as my splurge day, not just a meal. This time it was just one little meal, and it wasn't everything I wanted. I wanted a foot-long hot dog from our local Whataburger, which is not the same thing as the Texas Whataburger. 2 different animals. I have been craving that for like 2 weeks, and I told David whatever he wanted. He said, no, if you don't get that craving out of you, he said, you will just keep eating until you figure out whatever would satisfy it. He said, so let's go get that. So there's a little over, I don't even know what you call it, and you drive up and they got the little menu things on the side with the speakers, We pulled up in there, sit and eat in the car if you want to. You can get to go. However, we just sit and eat in the car because that's fun. We like just pulling up, sitting there, eating and talking. So I'll tell you what I got. We ain't got up there yet. But yeah, that was my eating out day. So for breakfast, I had 2 eggs because I didn't have prep yet. 90-second keto mug bread, 1 tablespoon of butter. Like I showed you, I cut it in half, toasted it in the pan. A tablespoon of sugar-free syrup, so that's what I had for breakfast. And then for a snack, up until we went to Whataburger, I had, this is different times, a Baby Bell Light, and then I was replacing waters in my little fridge, and there was 2 snack pack sugar-free puddings in there that have been in there for 2 months or better. I'm not kidding. I was probably not afraid to eat them, but I did anyway. They looked fine. They tasted fine. But it was a chocolate and a vanilla, and I ate both of them. And lunch, it was the Whataburgers, foot long all the way, only way to get it, and a large cherry lemon. I had more, I'm going to tell you right now, that large cherry lemon gave me more points and more calories than anything else on this page. Probably half of it put together. But I do not go to Whataburger without a large cherry lemon sun-drop. That's not going to happen. Then supper, I filmed it. We had the fried pickled chopple and the spaghetti squash with the spaghetti sauce on it. And so that's what I ate Saturday. Then Sunday, I spent another 36 of my 36 points. I'm always amazed when it just works out to be the same. And I didn't use any more weeklies, so I still have those, whatever I just said, weeklies left. 1,635 calories and 49 carbs. So early in the morning, about 2 o'clock, I woke up starving to death. So there was some spaghetti sauce left in the refrigerator. I pulled me out a half a cup of that. Counted the meat and the cheese on it, how much ever, I thought it was, and a fruit cup. Then for breakfast, after later, I had 2 pieces of bacon, 2 boiled eggs, and then I mixed a half a cup of the 5% Fayet with a half a cup of strawberries. For lunch, I made a tuna salad, and I made it with real Dukes. Snack, I had a bag of the microwave pork rinds. For supper, we had broccoli and cheese soup, and then a snack later on. I had 2 sugar-free Jellos and 2 boiled eggs because I was hungry. I'm trying to look at my days and see what's making me snacky. I've got to analyze that. Then yesterday, I used 34 of 36 calories, points, 1,413 calories. See the difference in 36 yesterday was 1,600 calories, and 36 today was 1,400, Monday, was 1,400 calories, and only 28 carbs. So it just goes by what you eat. Breakfast, I had what I prepped, 2 of my Wonder Bread, keto Wonder Bread chaffles, an egg, and 2 pieces of bacon. I made a sandwich out of it. Then lunch, I had this is when I went to the doctor, I had breakfast and I didn't want to eat my lunch. It was in the middle of the day, but I didn't want to eat my lunch because I wanted a better blood sugar count rather than just like right after I ate, and then I went. Then, of course, I went to the Dollar Tree, and I'm telling you, I was starving again. Well, I keep a little box, little snap plastic box in my pocketbook, and my pocketbook is so heavy. I call it my blood sugar kit. So when my blood sugar starts dropping, I got something in there. I keep a Jif to go, one of those little, you can find orange juice sometimes, but sometimes it's just orange or whatever drink, but it's enough to put some sugar in me. About like that big, 4 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. That little box fits in there, Jif to go. I even put a plastic spoon and a little plastic bag to dispose of it in, because that peanut butter is all sticky. And then this one had a little single serving of beef jerky that I had got at the Dollar Tree, and also had a Reese's snack bar, which I ain't had them in months. That's how long it's been in there. So I ate my beef jerky and my peanut butter, and that helped me till I got home, because had I not had that, I was going to drive through. I was absolutely going to drive through, find a grilled chicken sandwich, pick the bun off. I was going to do something. So even though I could have eaten the grilled chicken and been okay, it saved me money. Then between that and supper, I was hungry still. So I had a Baby Bell Light, and I had picked me up a can of Vienna weenies. I know some of y'all eat the Viennas. I grew up on them. Viennas and mustard. Ooh, yes I did. Well, they're very low carb, and surprisingly, the whole can, because that's what you do, was not that many points considering the rest of my day. So I treated myself, no, they're not good for you, but you know what? It happens. Then for supper, I had that pizza chicken and the spaghetti squash au gratin that I had made for my lunch prep, because let me just tell you, now let me get my coffee back. It's sitting here getting cold. Ooh, that cup is cold. I made a pork butt in the crock pot, and I had bought a good while back a bunch of seasoning packets. I was waiting for it to get colder before I put my pork butt in the oven, but I forgot yesterday, so I had to thaw it out in the microwave and throw it in the crock pot for while I was going to the doctor. And I got a seasoning packet out that was for pulled pork. Sprinkled it on there. Excited, It says when you get through, mix it in barbecue sauce. So I wasn't going to do all that. Just going to eat, plain old meat. When I got home, I checked it. I had put it on high because I was late. It was tender. Oh my gosh, a baby could have eaten it. So I pulled me a little piece to taste it, and it started getting hot. I'm like, oh, well, that's got a little kick to it. And it started getting hotter and hotter and hotter. I don't know how much milk I drank. I forgot to put that down. How much milk, that was medicine. Trying to get that heat out of my mouth. So for supper, I did not eat that. And I warned David, and he was sitting over over at the table, and I said, how's that meat? He said, yeah, it's a little spicy. Sitting there, and I heard him sniffling. I said, honey, that got your nose running. He said, yes. He goes, the more I keep it in my mouth, the hotter it gets. I said, I told you. He said, it's even hot for me, and he can stand some hot stuff. So I told him, I said, don't even take it to work. Just stop at the McDonald's, because he said he'll do that on Fridays a lot of times. He said he's going to stop. I said, don't, just stop at the McDonald's and he gets him a fillet of fish. Y'all remember that commercial? The fish on the board. You remember back in whenever those talking fish, they were real popular, and that fish was on there. Give me a fish, give me a fillet of fish. So every time I think of the fillet of fish, I have to sing that song. And so I had lima beans in the Instant Pot. Well, I was gonna just eat my mashed cauliflower while I was waiting on the beans. So I was gonna eat my meat while I was waiting on the beans. Well, I couldn't eat the beans. So I thought, well, I'll just give me some cauliflower, then I'll get my beans. Couldn't do it, y'all. Couldn't do it. I put ranch dressing and a couple tablespoons of sour cream in it. I was already going to do that. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So I told Dave when we come in there, I said, the meat is hot, and I said, and the cauliflower, that's all you, bud. He said, is it bad? I said, well, you go on and taste it. And he sat down and he goes, yeah, that cauliflower. So he didn't eat his cauliflower. I didn't even wait on the beans. I just went in there and got my lunch, and so that's what I ate. But props to you people that eats the mashed cauliflower. It was the bird's eye. I don't know if there's a difference in making it homemade, but I couldn't get over the cauliflower taste. I have heard people say it tastes like mashed taters, and no, it didn't taste like no mashed taters I ever made. So I will just do without. If I have anything that should go over mashed taters, I will just not put it over any mashed anything. I'll just eat it. So anyway, that is my doctor visit and my food. So like he said, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Now I'm going to take you inside and show you some Happy Mail that I got. I've been waiting for her to film next so I can show you. And okay, let's just head on in there and look at that. Me again. This comes from Jody Oliver. She is Joan's niece. She remembers back in the summer, and I remember we were talking about, if I am not mistaken, it was the Bloom Where You're Planted chat that we had. And I was talking about, I think it was that one. We don't need to wait for special occasions to be good to ourselves. We don't have to wait for special occasions to wear makeup if we want to wear makeup or wear perfume. Because at that time I had cleaned out my drawers. I had looked in my little drawers in there and I saw my perfumes. So then I started talking about, my favorite perfumes, what used to be. One was in high school, and you can get both of these at Christmas time. So I was like, I gotta wait till Christmas and see when one of those gift sets come out. Well, she paid attention and she listened to what I said, and bless her heart, she sent Jovan Musk. That's the one that I wore in high school, and I love this smell. It is, so good. Then this one was in the 90s, and this is the one where when I worked at the trucking company and met David, this is the one I wore predominantly back then. And there was a guy that worked there. His job was partly on the dock and partly in the billing office with us. He would he would come in, he would get behind me up around here, and he goes, "You the best smelling white woman I ever seen." And so every time he come in the office, he come back and get a whiff of that perfume, and it is exclamation. This stuff smells. Oh, it smells wonderful too. So thank you, Jody. I thought that was so sweet. You have stocked me up for a long time, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to wear this morning, but I'm going to put one of these on. I'm going to decide if I need to go to the 70s or to the 90s. So I just heard Flair behind me jump down. She must be coming down here to be hungry. She's getting greenery today. She hadn't been eating her lettuce this week, so she's going to get lettuce again today because she run out of bugs. She run out of worms yesterday. They hadn't had any roaches, so hopefully I'm going to go tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have some in tomorrow. But anyway, that was all about the Happy Meal. So thank you, Jody. I appreciate you thinking about me. That was very, very sweet. And I will see y'all on my next video.